Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Harry Muppet. Welcome back to another Starcraft 2 Daily Masters cast. It's going to be another awesome game here for you today. It's going to be a TvZ. Let's start by introducing the players. And the man with the Reaper right here is going to be Mr. Polt. I've got that selected. He is 26 years of age from South Korea, sponsored by both CM Storm and iBuyPower, part of the CM Storm team. And his opponent is going to be up the top right side of the map. He is Mr. Courage, 26 years of age from China, plays for the Zenith of Origin team. I've heard a little bit about that team. I've heard it mentioned a few times. I assume it's a Chinese team. Yes, it is. Seems to have quite a couple of awesome players. Tude Ming in there as well, who was somebody I cast, I think, yesterday or the day before. And Top used to be a part of this team as well, and we know a bit about Top, cast a few games, so yeah, some very, very nice stuff. Meanwhile, this Reaper getting a nice workout, has killed one unit, and it was actually a worker, so very, very good stuff. The second Reaper comes out, and suddenly the amount of DPS being done on these Lings is starting to get up there, starting to be quite scary, but it's not a problem. The Queens are out. And yeah, I do not think that those Queens are going down anytime soon, although there is a third Reaper out there. So Polt obviously feels that this sort of pressure is getting something done, because otherwise he would just stop at 2 Reapers. He would not add a third, but we can see he has added a third here. And yeah, the Queen is actually looking fairly low on health. Moving the other Queen over to get it healed up, but too late. The Queen is destroyed, and that is terrible news, because that opens the way up for the workers to just be absolutely destroyed. You can see they just snuck in there, had about 2 seconds, and one worker died straight away. So those Queens are integral in actually keeping these guys alive. But some nice Queen DPS actually knocks this guy down to very, very low amount of health. Is going to be forcing him back, but Hellions are out on the way for Mr. Polt as well. And yeah, so 2 coming out, another couple coming out as well. Is this going to be, could be some Banshee play, could very well be. The harassment has worked pretty well so far. We very rarely see a single worker go down to Reapers, and now we have seen 2. So God knows what Polt can manage with the Hellions, let alone with the Banshee, but does it look like that's what he's playing it actually? We can see a Marauder coming out of the barracks with the Tech Lab. So a very, very early Marauder, which is interesting because I'm not sure what an early Marauder really accomplishes. But yeah, obviously just making the decision that Banshees are not what he wants to do. He does not want to get a Banshee here. Prefer to get out that early Viking and go Overlord hunting. But man, the amount of DPS here, very, very nice. Bunch of Lings thinking about coming out. They might just be able to save this hatchery, but it was a very, very close. One Reaper does get owned, the rest of them moving out away and then coming back and pushing the Lings off. And they've got a little bit of time, but I think it may be too late to take this hatchery out. Yeah, the Hellions don't do that much damage to buildings. The Reapers do a little bit more. Based on how low that health was going, it wasn't really going down too much. Oh, the Lings running around. They run a little bit too far and almost missed a complete, utter, just total flank. Actually, they did miss the total flank, but they came around anyway and did some stuff, so that was good. Courage, man, needs to get those Overlords out. He has been losing a couple to the Viking play. And here we go, the Hellions starting to come out. And yeah, it looks like it's just going to be straight up ground units, and it's just a Marauder in here. Obviously, this guy is there for the slow, although he doesn't have the slow upgrade. So it's interesting. I would have thought it would be for the slow, because if there's a Baneling rush going in there, a Marauder slow can be absolutely beautiful. And here we go, the Hellions coming in. Going to be working on this base, going to be taking it down. The Lings are nowhere near. They're all the way over the other side of the base. So this thing is going to go down. It's going to take a little while. And while it's going down, the craziness is going to be happening down here. Here comes the stream of Banelings. No amount of Marauder slow is going to save these guys. The Banelings, oh man. I gotta say they destroyed a lot of stuff, but I gotta say those Banelings could have been better used on the mineral line. Look at all these workers right here. The Banelings crashing into the supply depots as a gross waste of Baneling numbers there. They just destroyed this stuff. They destroyed this wall for what reason? Does he have enough Lings to run up there and do something? I don't know. And all you really want to do when you get up there is destroy workers anyway. And you don't really care about destroying buildings, you care about destroying workers. Getting the macro down, putting him on the extreme back foot. And there were workers down the bottom side already, so Courage, he had a great amount of units, but I gotta say the execution there left quite a bit to be desired. The fact he had all those Bailings, did not go for that worker pack, just almost leaves me in disbelief. But a major opportunity there, wasted. And the amount of damage those Bailings could have done potentially would have been enough to see Courage win the entire game. I mean, look at this, 50 over 34. That's the worker numbers looking at. So Courage, in fact, is quite far behind on the economy, on the macro, on the worker numbers. So he definitely needs to get up there, and those Bailings were the perfect opportunity. We do have Bailings coming in now, and they are getting deep into the worker line, are blowing up, but they're chasing the Hellions. So they managed to kill some workers, but I think there was more incidental damage more than actually targeting them. So yeah, that's fine. We've got this third command center up the top to thank for the insane amount of macro that Polt does have. But I'm starting to get the feeling here that Courage is just outmatched. That Polt is just straight up a better player. And Courage is working on the worker numbers at the moment. Got that third base up, and the third base did take quite a lot, but here we go. The workers, I don't think the rally point was actually set up before, so yes, we know that Polt is right up the top of his game. He's one of the best Terran players out there. Courage, it does look like Polt is just going to steamroll this from what I've seen so far. So yeah, let's go through, let's see how this turns out. That's my current estimation. I don't know if it's going to be correct or not. What have we got going on from Mr. Courage at this point? We already know we don't. We've got level 1 armor currently going out. No weapons. A bit more Bailings, a bit more workers. Getting the worker numbers up is nice. Needs to push ahead quite a bit more because Polt is still in an extremely good position. 4 more barracks coming out. 1-1 is about halfway done, which is not bad. Not bad at all for this point in the game. Yeah. He's not really rushing the upgrades, but he's getting them at a decent time, which is good. And yes, more Bailings warping in here, morphing in here, whatever you want to call it. And the Hellions on the side going to do a great defense versus the Lynx here, so they're not really going to bump in. There is Bailings coming through, but it looks like Polt has gone for a very heavy Marauder Hellion sort of play, which is going to be very effective versus both Lynx and Bailings, because the Bailings are only really good versus the Marines. Versus Marauders and Hellions, there's just too much health for them to sort of push through, and it does take too much time. There we go, the third base has gone down. The help of the Marauders integral for doing that fast damage to the building, and the Hellions mainly just acting as escorts for the Marauders, keeping the Lynx at bay. It looks like everything is going to go down. He is going to be able to save those Marauders with the medevac. I think he just managed to morph it into a Marauder before it died, which is nice. But yeah, he did what he needed to do. Now Courage is on 2 bases, and now it's going to start to be bad. Very, very, very bad news for Mr. Courage, man. I mean, he's starting to get his macro in gear, but Polt has had his macro in gear for a very, very long time, and he's just going to start going nuts. We've even got a 4th base here, so Polt knows he's not in any immediate danger of being completely owned by Courage. He's feeling like he's in a comfortable place, and that's why this 4th base is coming up so early. It's just, he morphs it into an orbital, and he just gets so many more mules. He's not right on the edge where he has to continually produce everything he can to sort of stay in the game. He feels like he's in a good position where he can sort of sit back and relax just a little bit in this game. So, yes. A little bit of a worry there, but did pull his forces back in time. He's got the bunker there, although the bunker is out of range to defend these supply depots out of there. So I got a feeling another bunker over here may be a good idea, or even this one moving a little bit closer. But who knows. Nice drop happening over here. Courage all over it though, and that thing is not going to be doing too much. And yeah, Courage at the moment, has he got a Spire? That's the question of the day. The answer is no. And I'm not really sure what his game plan is here. It looks like Ling, but we've never seen a game where somebody just goes Ling. They always go Mutaling or something like that. Or Hydraling against Protoss. But against Terran, just going Ling? Yeah. The problem with just going Ling, I mean, Banelings do a crazy amount of damage to Marines and Marauders, and Lings are very, very good at doing stuff. Like, they get in there, they're all over the place, they're nice, cheap units, they're great. So both of those units great at killing Marines and Marauders. You know, they're pretty good at killing Marauders. Not as good as Marines, but yeah. The problem is, and the reason why you need Mutaling and not just Ling, is the Medivacs. Medivacs, not only do they heal units, which is a pain in the ass, but they could easily scoop up an entire army and run the freaking hell out of there. So basically, you're rolling your army in there, you lose half of them before you even get to the force, and the payoff is when you're in nice and close, then you start doing the damage. There's Medivacs everywhere, you lose half your forces, and then just as you're about to get in there and do the damage, Medivacs pick everybody off and they lift up. You've done no damage, you've lost half your army, and it sucks. So that's why you need the Mutas. And yeah, we did not see a single Mutalist, we did not see a Spire coming out from Courage, so yeah, I just don't know. I just don't know at this point what the play was here from Mr. Courage. But anyway, game has been done, and Polt has taken the victory. As we probably would have expected at the start of the game, because it's Polt, and he's awesome. So that's it, game done. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you guys tomorrow with another one. Stay tuned.